Hello. Are we on? We live? Hold on. Mistress Moore. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was in the other room fixing the Diet Coke, which is, of course is required. And I heard the sound of a notification. I'm like, what the hell? Thank you for the resubscription. I really appreciate it. Hey, are you still here? I got something to show you. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. I'll show you something cool. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess? Can you take a wild guess before I show it to you? Yep. This is a Switch 2. I just got it delivered by Amazon because I'm too lazy to go to a store and stand in line or anything like that. So I just went to Amazon. They're like, "Oh, you have to be invited." It says two Switch 2. So yeah, and I got the bundle that has Mario Kart. So me and my friend Kelly were playing Mario Kart this morning. Just the time trials. We're not ready to actually do real races yet. Oh, the subscription. Well, I agree. Those people, especially if you bought one of the early versions and then you can't access it anymore, or those songs, or I don't know. It's got that. It's like a Switch except bigger and nicer. And these controllers are great. The way they come on magnetically and off is just really slick. You can use them as mice. You can use them individually, like a regular Switch. I haven't bought anything else, but all right, this one came bundled with Mario Kart, so at least I get something to do. Yeah, it's not an insignificant amount. I mean, for those people who are using it as a fitness method and they want to do it every single day, I guess it makes some sense compared to other methods of fitness and things like that. But for just people who want to casually do Just Dance every now and then, paying $15 a month. And the same thing is true here. For me to go, they're like, "Oh, you want to upload your Ghost scores? Well, you need to have a Nintendo Online account. And it costs money, but don't worry, it's free for the first 30 days. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like, even if it's $5 or $10 a month, I'm not going to get the value out of it. I just don't play console games that much. I just wanted to have it to check it out. And because I wanted to play Mario Kart World. It does look really fun. I got it plugged into my TV, my big screen over there. So that's kind of fun. That's a new thing. But, that's not going to affect today's magically similar to every other stream. We do have Diet Coke there. Yeah, we do. Hold on a second here. All right. I do have the beautiful Bluetooth controller. How are you doing today, Mistress Moore, and everyone else who shows up? I hope you're having a lovely, fantastic day. I'm looking forward to taking a couple hours off to just take a break, fly around random places in the world in one of my giant fleet of airplanes, have a little Diet Coke. Let me try it. This is the first Diet Coke of the day. God dang. You got some custom orders done. That's good. Well, it's August. Hope you get back to the streaming thing. I mean, for August. Anyway, do what I know you've got a lot of things going on. You got little embers in the fire. I don't know how they put it. You got all things going on. So good for you. Anyway, the first half of the stream will be me playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. After I do that for an hour, roughly, I would say, typically, I'll be taking a break. We'll be playing the big brain games today. That's me doing the Quordle, the Revealed game, the Tightrope Trivia, 9-question trivia day. Sunday's the hardest one. And a couple of Octurtles to cool down after the hard trivia quiz. I'm looking forward to it. Then there'll be the break, and then, I'll be playing... well, that's a tough one, and that is a tough one. That's a very tough one, I think a lot of people know. So, yes, it can definitely be aggravating and very grating on the nerves to be quitting nicotine, because it's kind of a soothing thing, and things that tend to be grating. And I feel the same way. Sometimes I'm like, am I in a good mood? Can I contribute to people's hopefully good mood? Hi, Science. How you doing? I got Mistress Mord on on Twitch, as you can see there. We got Science. By the way, Mistress Mordom, I recently asked people to consider who are long-term Twitch viewers to move to YouTube. Although I'm now kind of reconsidering it. For a while, I was considering just YouTube only and dropping Twitch. But since then, by the way, Science, this is an update. Since then, they've allowed me to do 1440p. I got in the 1440p. If you are streaming on a platform that allows it, including PCs or whatever, you should be able to select 1440p if it doesn't automatically select that. It's a slightly higher quality, but that's one of the reasons why I was kind of wanted to move away from Twitch. 6% moved to 4. Yeah, don't they have a 2.5% too, though, you could drop to, I think? Anyway, Science says hi. I think she can kind of see it. I wish I could have a combined, which I could if I had Streamlabs, but not with Stream Elements. It's a long story. I'm just too lazy to switch around right now. So I'm probably not going to. Well, Cape Town does have an AWS. Cape Town is officially an AWS ingest center, finally, after years, just since 2023, I think. So it's been a couple of years, but you get a pretty good signal out of Cape Town compared to a lot of areas because there is an actual AWS server. So what happens is when I'm doing this high def broadcasting or higher def, the issue is, I need more of an upstream, but I have plenty of upstream on my internet. I have 200 megabits upstream, and I'm only using like about 17 megabits to go up. For this broadcast, which includes a higher def, blah, 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 and also lower res versions for people who are not seeing the full res version. It's kind of complicated. But the point is, both YouTube and I'm multi-streaming on YouTube and Twitch, but both get the advantage of the higher resolution stream. So as long as I'm doing that, I'm going to keep it. But I do encourage people to come to YouTube, to go to YouTube just to get away from the advertisements on Twitch. The truth is, as I say, I consider myself a Twitch streamer. This is our TwitchCon shirt from this is San Diego 2022. So I got this shirt the first year that I went to TwitchCon and met Mistress Mord for the first time in San Diego. Then this 2023 was Vegas, 2024 was San Diego. And this year, back in San Diego, pretty excited. As usual, got a lot of stuff, fun things I want to bring along and plan, do a lot of socializing with some amazing people down there. All right, but let's fly. I really could use some flying time, not in the cabin. The helicopter, it was fun, but it gives me, it's stressful. So not the helicopter, but I do enjoy planes that have kind of an interesting startup, or a complex kind of startup sequence here. Something we haven't necessarily flown Oh yeah, you need that for your Travis Scott concert. You're gonna need. You mean what do you mean by Airbnb? You mean overnight? It's just overnight, right? So you could stay in a hotel, right? Let's see. The other thing I was thinking was also spending more time in that electric plane. Oh, that's a good point. I mean, you're the one who knows kind of how to kind of stay at the cheapest. If you just want an overnight kind of flop house. But yeah, I mean, at some point, all I've really planned is to go to San Diego and then drive home after the week. But I think it'd be fun to actually go out to Vegas as well, because I know pretty sure Charles is gonna go, and he knows other people. He knows other streamers. I'm just looking at my planes. What do we got here that could be fun? I mean, they're all fun. That one's not very stable. That one doesn't work too well. We flew that one recently. I got so many planes. Well, hi, good to see you from Big Rainy Holland. You got me on the TV set. Well, let me get you up in the air. I hope you're enjoying your area, the hotter of the area. By the way, my friend Mistress Mord is she's South African, but she goes to the EU TwitchCon every year in Rotterdam, and you're kind of local to that area as well. It's kind of fun. So you guys have definitely done the Rotterdam thing. Let's see. I got to make a decision. You know what? We're just gonna do what I kind of wanted to do, which is take the AT out. And go to the Cliffs of Moher because we've been there one time before, but they've updated it and it's really cool looking. The only issue is I kind of forgot where it is. Is it that's don't I'm gonna have to look it up again. Okay, that's okay. In general, is it? I think it's around here. Nah, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up on my maps. I mean, I decided there's a place I want to go, but I have not necessarily decided. Oh, I'm gonna turn off this. Okay, that's all right. That's what Google Maps is for. County Clare, Ireland. There's the Cliffs of Moher. Okay, yes. Yes. That's very helpful. That's very helpful. It's right. It's kind of this side. Right, there we go. All right, we're gonna fly around here. It should be a nice, even this area here is called the Cliffs of Moher. It's a really pretty area. We're gonna fly up this little airstrip, fly over the water, and check out the cliffs. There's like there's like some ruins on there. It's pretty cool. This is a tiny. Yeah, I think we can actually cold start it. This plane is really unusual. I just got it. I think it's $6. And it's based on a real French plane that they're working on for release. But it's a very unusual design. It's a hybrid electric plane. It includes 4 gas turbine engines in the fuselage that are charging generators. Those generators are powering the electric fans and other there's downward fans and forward fans that make it go. It's one of those ones where everything's got to be computer controlled. Fly by wire, as they say, because you're human, you wouldn't really be able to do it, but it does some really cool stuff, and it's really cool looking, very modern, So you got these little propellers that face forward. Nothing really tilts, which is good, and then you have these fans, these what we call really good, they're ducted fans in the wings, and there's 4 in each of the 2 wings, total of 8 of these ducted fans. Really cool, and then you got the kind of like a big passenger area there. I really like it. All right, let's get inside. So to start this plane, let's see. I don't know what's going on there. We turn the fuel on. We'll have to. Something's going on here. We're in a weird state. Let me just get this stuff on. Fuel on. Battery on. I believe that is always on. So we can start. There's 4 of these generator engines. The forward, the aft, left, and the right. As you can see them starting out. Unfortunately, I'm in a weird position here, where it's causing me to jump up and down. That's a bug, but as soon as we move, we'll be okay. It does look like we are starting up, right? Just see here. Yeah, something bad is happening. That jumping. Oh. All right, that was too much. Wait a minute. I gave too much power. Hold on, less power. I'm just getting used to how we start up this plane, but I can move it around. You can hover it like a helicopter. I just want to land again. We're going to do a real takeoff. All right, a little gentle landing there. All right, so now, all right, parking brake off, so the little bingo is off. The interesting thing is that this little power switch here goes from hover to fly, and when it does, you can effectively taxi and sort of take off like a plane, which we're going to do. Need a little more power there. Okay, there we go. A little more power. Let's see and at that point we can operate like an extremely short takeoff, we can take off on a tiny runway like this one. I know, autograph. I figured you meant nerding, not needing out. You know me. I'm a plain nerd. All right. So let's see. Trim looks good. This is what it looks like from here. Let's get a little wider view. I'm basically gonna give it full power here and let it load out. But as you see, what happens is not only are we getting some lift from the wings, but those fans are starting to speed up for us. And so it doesn't take very long. I just felt that we basically just left off. We can kind of feel we got light here. Whee! I think we needed most of that runway though. We could have taken off vertically. Anyway, I'm gonna go. You're not a nerd. I'll give you that. You're not a. You know, you have things that are nerdy about you. Magic the Gathering, but you're not technically a nerd. So hopefully, I'm hoping that it is like a hybrid plane, like a hybrid. Yes, it's like a hybrid car, and that a hybrid car has a gasoline power engine, and also but uses electricity to power it. Hybrid cars often use the gasoline engine as also propulsion, like a Prius does. There are some, you know, like a plug-in hybrid tends to not really. It also has charge batteries. Me too. I'm glad I have a bunch. Well, I have a bunch of fun hobbies. I got some new Lego coming. I ordered the one-piece Lego set. There was the big one called the Barati, which is this huge floating restaurant, which is really cool. That was $330, and I was gonna get it, but then I chickened out. They just started taking pre-orders on this new one-piece Lego set Friday. The one that I got is the pirate ship though, which is really cool. So I'm looking forward to building some Lego again on stream finally. All right, what's our? Oh yeah, we got to watch our airspeed. It actually tends to get going pretty fast. You see there on the left, there's that kind of there's that on the lower left. When it gets into the yellow, that's pretty much as fast as you want, and then eventually gets into the red, and that means you're going too fast. These planes can't go so fast because the wings, you know what I mean. As you move forward, those wings are going to catch a lot of air in those big holes. But yeah, this would be. I mean, you know, this is if they made these. This is the closest thing there is to a Jetsons flying car in the modern world, and that's clearly why they make it. But it is pretty amazing. You can take off and land like a drone. I mean, it's even much more stable than a helicopter. Then fly at a pretty decent speed, much faster than a car. We're going 150 knots. So you're also getting to your destination a lot quicker than you would in a car. And that's one of the problems with small planes, is that if they're a propeller plane, most of them only go like 120 knots. They're not that fast, or less. Very light planes. Anyway, this is the Cliffs of Moher. They recently redid it in the game. Well, like about 6 months ago. Actually, I think there's some ruins over here we want to fly over. But it's just a beautiful, very rugged area of the southwestern coast of Ireland, or western coast of Ireland, central western coast, and just kind of a famous area that people go to. But we're gonna fly nice and low. If they don't kind of make these cliffs look custom, because normally they're building terrain off of satellite maps. There's not a lot of detail in very vertical sections of the Earth. So before they did this, it looked really bad, and now it looks really good. The first thing we're going to notice is this kind of really old lighthouse structure here. And lots of little kind of really cool kind of structures there. Very old. All right, we get out and take a look. That's what it looks like, I guess. All right, we'll check it out. We're gonna do some cliff flying. It's just nice and relaxing. But I think there's a couple more ruins. They're kind of up here. I'm gonna try to go closer here. Oh yeah, and there's another structure at the other end. Well, there's plenty of parking places around here, I have a feeling. I mean, it's not really that populated. I guess this is kind of like a place where you visit to kind of have the largest overview, and you kind of see the cliffs on each side from this side here. But I think there's another old castle or lighthouse over here. But yeah, so the structuring of and the texturing here is all done by um, taking photos from a plane from this angle and then mapping them onto the cliffs. And it looks really good, but it quite takes a lot of work. Yeah, so there's another little kind of star fort castle here. Get out here, put our magic parachutes on. We're closer to this. There it is. Again, it's just old stone tower structures. That way, looking for definitely looking for invaders from the west. Probably rarely happen. Maybe Vikings. I don't know who they were worried about. But because you're looking out here, you're looking out here pretty much onto the full-on Western Pacific, or the Atlantic Ocean. So you have to, if you went out this direction, that to the west where the sun's setting, you're going to go to America. That's the next land you're going to hit. It's beautiful around here. So then the most dramatic cliffs are there, that side there, but there's kind of other cliffs over here. Let's check out there's a city area. That's what it looks like from here. It's quite nice and quiet and calm on the inside. Again, mainly because the motors are, the electric motors are quiet, and the engines that are in the fuselage or in the back section there are insulated from you in sound wise more than a regular plane would. So I guess it would be quiet. It's not going to be silent like you'd imagine the Jetsons car, but it's about as good as we can get with 21st century technology at this point. According to this simulation, it takes regular fuel. Well, let's see, we've got 43% left. I think we had about 49% left when we took off. That's definitely a decent range. So there's houses there, not very expensive looking ones. A little bit nicer housing right on the water there. I wonder where the nearest actual city is. I kind of see some stuff in that direction. There's some kind of airfield over there. How far away is this stuff? Flight planner. We headed up this direction. Yeah, there isn't really much up here, I don't think. The next thing that's major is way down here. It's not that far though. Let's head southeast. Southeast, yeah. One of the cool features of this plane that yes, you can see that there's a big button there that says fly. It says fly mode, and if you go into hover mode, I'll show you. I'll show you. So you see something. Let's get low first. We're gonna get low because you can do as much as you want. But we're gonna go down to this kind of major city area because I want to see like a fly. It's not major, but it's bigger. But it's about 10 miles away. It's not very fast. So I'm gonna get nice and low here. Turn this off. And we're going to do some hovering over this area. So basically, I just hit the button, and it immediately starts decelerating rapidly. I'm not doing anything in particular. And now, as I adjust the throttle, what I'm really getting is vertical speed control, not forward speed control. And when I'm hovering, I can basically, you can spin on a dime, you can translate left, right, forward, backwards. You're not, you're kind of flying like a helicopter that has very idealized performance characteristics. So I can go down here, I could say, let's land in a field, pick any one field, or let's land near those houses. And the only thing that's really a problem, and that I don't really understand how they would have forgot this in the design, is that you can't see below you while you're descending. So from here, I can see that I'm not going to land on a tree, but from here, I really can't, because the plane's below me. In a helicopter, you have windows below you, so while you're hovering, you know. But it is pretty easy. Anyway, you can just point the direction. Okay, we want to go southeast. That's this direction here. So we're going to turn southeast. So to go back, okay, well, let's give it some power. Okay, we're not going to land here, but you can see you can land anywhere, and no big deal. But now I'm going to give myself some power. I'm going to use this stick to move, so we start moving forward. I don't want to get that skill here though. Okay, some altitude. Oh, we've got some. Okay, so I'm going to go as fast as I can in hover mode, and then we're going to switch to fly mode. And then what happens is, as soon as it hits a certain point, you got to be ready to pull the stick back. It goes back into that mode in which it is purely moving forward, or mostly moving forward. It's still giving a lot of energy to those fans, so the fans provide lift as well as the as well as the wings, and that's really what makes it a hybrid. It's not just that it has hybrid engines that are creating the electricity needed for fans, but you're getting a hybrid lift model in which the 8 fans that are pointing downwards are always operating, just not nearly as much when you're moving forward, and then they get a lot more power when you're in the hover mode. But according to this, it's a real plane. So in this mode, you can fly pretty much. You're pointing the nose where you want to go. You're banking. You're flying just like a regular plane. Just want to watch our speed. But that's one of the great things that's so fun about this. Yes, what you need is, and I'm sure they have in the real plane, is a downward display camera, and then you just switch one of these monitors to, in the same way now it's looking forward. And by the way, this is a kind of one of these cameras that can look forward even in bad weather. So if you couldn't, or night weather, you can still see this generated image. But the same thing is, you click a button and you get a down camera, and then you're just looking, you're looking forward into that while you're looking, and that would presumably wide angle. And that's the only issue I have with this game, with this version, which is they must have that in the actual plane, and I don't get it. We don't get it in this version. But one thing that I really like for this plane, even though it's a couple miles, is we can use the autopilot. So the way the autopilot works is we want to establish a course of about 130. So let me establish 130 degrees in the autopilot, because we're going to set heading mode. There's 131, that's good enough. Turn the autopilot on, set heading mode, and also altitude hold mode. And now, not only is it, the only thing I'm controlling is the speed with the throttle. The altitude is being held at 1,430 feet, and the heading is being held at 130 degrees. And then I can, that way, for a reasonably long flight, just like the way a car would have an autopilot. All right, we're heading down to this EINN airport, which I think is an area here. What city is it, though? Shannon. Shannon is a really famous airport in Western Ireland. If you've ever flown across the Atlantic from America, from New York, especially from Seattle, I believe, you might land in Shannon and for a refueling run before you kind of get to Western Europe, like Germany or something like that. It's kind of an interesting airport. It has a huge runway, and it's designed kind of for that purpose, for jumbo planes that need to refuel for a much longer path. So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's a very major airport. We'll check it out. We're gonna check it out ourselves, because of its. Oh, we're almost over speeding. We're at the limit. I have my controller just started shaking. We're just gonna lose power here. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna stay right at around 150. So it's only about 8 miles away, though, so we're going to see it. And there is a kind of a somewhat of a metropolitan area, but Shannon it's very small. It's not like people are traveling to Shannon; it's purely a waypoint. But it's very popular. The major airports, the disadvantage if you need a long runway because you're a big plane like a 380 or a 747. You could land at Heathrow or a major busy airport, but to refuel, that's going to be very slow, efficient, and expensive. So they'll land here at Shannon. They can get turned around much quicker. I'm really hoping they come out with an update that has those down display cameras. And right now, our only choice is to land from the outside, because otherwise we have no idea what's below us. And that it's obviously a huge design issue. I guess you can kind of look through the the best thing you can do is kind of stick your head to the side and look through there. But you really need to see what's right below you when you're landing completely vertically. But it's still really fun to fly. Again, this is kind of these futuristic planes. I like either the vintage planes from the 1930s and 40s or kind of futuristic Jetson style ones. Looks like we might be flying through some weather. Come up there. I see some rain up ahead. It's August. Hey, Ireland, it's August. Don't you know that it's supposed to be good weather? They don't care. I don't mind. We're going to fly through some bad weather. I don't have an issue with it. I mean, realistically, in the real world, you can't just magically turn the weather. All right, we're going to make a right turn here, or a slight right turn here. fly over Shannon. We can do that right from the autopilot control. So we're gonna go to about 140. There's 140, and you'll see it's turning us. We don't have to touch the controls or anything like that. That's there. But we also aren't going to. We will be landing. We will not be landing on a runway. We'll be landing effectively in a helicopter zone. But we'll suss it out. But yeah, this I think they have a 1,200-foot runway. Now there's an unusually long runway. Let me just see what it says here. It's only 10,500, which is kind of considered a long runway. There are longer runways, but that's pretty long. Okay. There's also much more colorful variations of the paint job. I could have got those on. And again, we got the logo lights on. Ascendants. I think we have the logo lights on, right? Where do you change those? Oh yeah, they're over here, right? Oh no, it's supposed to be on. Turn those on too. I didn't have any of my lights on. We'll see how it looks now. Okay, yeah, they're much brighter now. Okay, they weren't on before. So that's what it looks like with the logo lights on. And the logo lights also light up the back of the headrest quite brightly. It's kind of distracting, but it is what it is. I like it. Yeah, okay, now I got my lights on. There we go. It's really dramatic. I should have recognized that. You can kind of see them with the lights on, but they get really bright. It's a cool looking plane. All right, we're going to be flying through some rain, and when you do, there's a really good quality effect of water streaming over the windshield. So I always enjoy it. We're gonna continue to watch that for that. So it says university as promised. I mean, just how it kind of forms these rivulets, these high-speed rivulets, and those change quite dramatically as you slow. Like when we come to, I think if we were come to a hover mode, you know what, let's try it. All right, autopilot off. Autopilot off, hover mode. So if we come to a stop here in the rain, I kind of want to see what happens. We're slowing down to the water. I do want to kind of make sure we're not going to go down to it. See, we're slowing down. See, the water, it turns to droplets that then move. And then it kind of stops. Now that we're basically stopped in the rain, and you can see actual drops of rain. That is a sophisticated effect. I'm sorry. And you can see, rain hitting there. Now we're going to go into fly mode again. So I'm going to push the stick forward. And I say, as soon as we establish over 55 knots in hover mode, you go to fly. And then get ready to pull back stick. Back in fly mode. It's pretty wild, and then you can see these. It turned back into rivulets, but I think we're kind of coming out of the rain soon. It's a really, as I say, kudos to the programmers. Yes, that would be cool. Like you could control the specific lighting effect. I mean, that lime green is pretty outrageous. So the city of Shannon, or I'm not sure it's Shannon. I also think it's close to Limerick, Ireland. But as I mentioned, this is this airport where a lot of large flights, like heavy 747s and big planes, 380s, come in for refueling so that they can land because it's a much less busy airport. And I believe in the 80s when I was working at Microsoft and I flew to Paris from Seattle. For business reasons, we stopped here for refueling, and that was just very common. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of traffic or busy things going on at the airport. There's not a big terminal, but I guess that's the terminal over there. So, big ass runway. Let's see what it looks like over here. So here's the kind of the passenger terminal, but you can see it's got like 8 gates. It's not a very busy passenger terminal. because most of the activity here is just planes coming through and refueling and leaving. I just want to see what's over this direction. The other great thing is it's like unlike any other plane that I currently have in the game. If it says H there, there's a point of interest and it says H, like Radisson Blu Hotel and Spa, Limerick. We can land on that one. I mean, there's a helicopter landing pad, and we're gonna land there. We're getting some rain effect here, and there's no point in landing at that airport. Hello, how you doing? I don't know why we get that guy, not the woman co-pilot. I am enjoying my Diet Coke today. It is a nice brown fizzy, and fluid of undefined flavor. Tastes like Diet Coke, but I'm assuming this is that's Shannon, and that up ahead is Limerick, which is a place. Some people just think it's a poetry form. It's a bawdy poetry form, but of course it's an actual place. So we'll get a chance to see it. It's a fun flight today. We got to see the Cliffs of Moher. We got to see Shannon. We're doing a lot of Western Ireland here. And as I say, yeah, flying around in this futuristic Jetson style craft is it's fun because it's relaxing. There's very little you can do to mess it up. I don't think it's possible to stall. I mean, the only things bad that could happen in this plane is if there was some mechanical issue, and But I imagine, like, if one of the fans were to break or something like that, it'd be okay, since there are 8, so you could probably work on 7 without a problem. But then you get these 2 forward propellers, those little motors there. I imagine those need to be kept working. All right, so there's something down here. We're going to check out this area here. But I really want to land, like, on an actual helicopter landing pad. There's thousands of them. And I've landed on, like, 2. Oh, it's raining again. Getting some rain. It's a variable amount of rain. It could be light rain, it could be heavy rain, it could be a real heavy rainstorm. It's a very sophisticated effect. But again, we're going to stay nice and low. Beautiful. Rolling countryside of Ireland, and a lot of it. It's big. So, yeah. Let's see. It says something up there. Okay, the first says Radisson Blu. Okay, that's a hotel. But the one on the further side says something about a studio. Yeah. It says something Studios Limerick. We're definitely checking that out. Well, let's check out what this hotel looks like before we fly out. It says Troy Studios Limerick. I want to see that place. So we are going there. I think this is that's an airport there. University Hospital. This one here is just Cunard. This is the Radisson Blu Hotel and Spa. Okay. Alright, so we got some road activity here. I mean, that, as far as helicopter landing pad, they just mean that little lawn there, I think. Alright, that's the Radisson Blu. Alright, let's check out and see if this, it really does. It really does. I mean, it's plus in the game you can really tell when you're flying over Ireland. It's just so green, and it's hard to describe, But yeah, you're not flying over Japan, and even other parts of the UK. It's a little different. We're gonna head out to this Troy Studios. I just love the idea that maybe it's a movie or TV studio or something. There are quite a few. Let's see. This is a kind of industrial area. You can also see lots of roundabouts. We don't have nearly as many roundabouts here in America. We should have more. They are very efficient. They don't require power. They save time and energy. So yeah, so this is going to be Limerick. Looks like there's a school over there, I believe. We're heading to the studios. Out this way. It's like more potentially school of some kind of institution. Oh, that's definitely a stadium that's being built right there, under construction. Kind of tell. It's got all those cranes. And when you can see there's like a lot of bridges over a river, that usually means there's a large population, the old town or something here. Lots of little bridges. I think is the river also called the Limerick? I'm not sure. As well as the town. Some nice little church activity down here. All right, where's the studio? It's right out here, right? Still want to head up to the studio. Let's see if there's some interesting studio buildings. Just because there is a helicopter landing pad doesn't necessarily mean there's anything very detailed there, but sometimes there is. But yeah, it's stunning scenery today, good time of the day, and I do believe I have real-time weather and time turned on. I'm gonna double check that. Check that here. Yeah, it says live weather, and yeah, it's the current time of the day.
I'm having trouble understanding.
I'm getting a lot of that today.
Please try a little later.
All right, we're gonna come down here. We're gonna go into hover mode here. Okay, hover mode. So it's gonna start slowing us down automatically. I'm not touching anything, but it effectively that's like putting the brakes on. And now I do want to keep. So we want to keep it moving. Now I'm putting the stick forward to keep us moving forward. Not too fast. Not that fast. And I'm also watching our altitude and vertical speed. We're in a perfect hover right now. I wonder. I almost remember that. I wonder if the show, the franchise, was shot out here. See, there's a bunch of fields. So it is clearly a studio. And I kind of remember hearing something. Some productions were there. But those are studio buildings. I can't remember what was filmed here, or may still be filmed here. That studio. Okay, and is that a wind? That's a wind. It's like a wind turbine back there. I think this whole area is like studios. I'm not really sure what this tower out here is for. Yeah, that's too bad. I love the franchise. I mean, I like the studio too, but I gotta say, I think I like the franchise a little more. They're kind of similar in some ways. Very, very much. Okay, so we park out here. Park out here in the backyard here. Okay, so the only trick about is watching your throttle so that you don't land too hard. But again, you cannot see below you. That's the best you can do is kind of look through the fan, and that's how you kind of judge how fast you're moving down. But I can make little adjustments with the throttle and land really slowly if I want. But I'm constantly making very tiny adjustments to the throttle to get this real soft landing. But basically, yeah, see, you're watching for the ground to come up. There we go. Whoop. Was it not level ground? It might not be perfectly level ground, but no issues. The Ukrainian drone squad. This is kind of like a drone. It's kind of like a giant drone. That'd be interesting to see whether they were going to. By the way, how are you, Graham? Good to see you. Cheers. Got some Diet Coke here for you. Mistress Mord was here earlier, but I think it's late. I think it's late for her. All right. So if we want to fly around a little bit more, because we do. We're still in hover mode. All you got to do is start the turbine spinning up here. They provide electrical power to your to those fans that are pushing it straight up. It's pretty wild. I want to head this way. So we get started going in a particular direction. And then to go into fly mode, we're going to go back in from hover to fly. Oops. Get ready to go back on the stick. It's just like a Jetsons. It really is a Jetsons experience. And yeah, I can see that if they actually are able to produce these in the real world, that people are going to want to fly them. But I don't know. I mean, they're supposed to introduce them next year. There's a company called Ascendance. You can look it up. It's ATEA is the plane, ATEA. Ascendance is the name of the company. That's what's down there. It says Ascendance. It's a French company. I believe they showed this at the Paris Air Show this year. But I want to see what this is also. Brita's House Airstrip. That's, it's really cool that we can just kind of pick up and go wherever we want, land where we want, and it's not like you have to even kind of make an approach to an airstrip or something. Oh, they have modified. Yeah, well, no, they're using every method, but drones are very a very effective military tool because they fly low. They fly below radar by definition. They're ground hugging devices. Yeah, and it almost seems like they use Flight Simulator as a way to judge whether they'll be popular in the real world. I still can't use that Alice, which is a battery-powered rechargeable plane in 2024. They still haven't updated it. I can only use it in 2020, but that's not a hybrid plane. It's just an electric plane, but it's got those huge batteries in it that take 8 hours to recharge. This plane you can refuel just as quickly as any plane because it just uses fuel. It doesn't have any batteries in it. It's just a really unusual and interesting idea. All right, just because this is called Brita's House Airstrip, I just want to see if there's a house there. And again, these are places I've never been to before. There's so many places in the world, never been there. That's the advantage of a hybrid car. In the car world too, you just fill up your Prius with 10 gallons, and that goes a long way. But if it's Tesla, you got to go to your supercharger station. It's going to take 20 minutes at the minimum, maybe 30. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's go back into hover mode. Hover mode. Hover mode. Yeah, that'll start to slow it down. Slow down. A little more power. I just want to hover around here and see what there is to see. It says Brita's House, but I think Brita's House might be over there. That's the closest house. But I hope somebody named Brita lives here. That's the only house I see nearby. It's got like a path. So you land on this little dirt strip, and then you sidle up to this house here. Yeah, not very detailed, but still something to see. That's what it looks like from here. It's just really incredible. Oh, cool. Cool. I'll check it out later. I'll be interested in seeing that. Thank you. Thanks, Graham. All right. Pretty soon, I want to see another place. So let's go over here. What does that say? Okay, that's the studios. This direction, wasn't there something over this kind of? No, there was this over here. Yeah, that's a ways off. There's the British House Airstrip. Oh yeah, that direction. This one here. Oh, that's the studio. All right, what's here? All right, we're gonna head out here. This direction's not that far. So we get full speed going. You want to get full. So we're in hover mode, but I got to stick all the way forward. Now we can transition to fly mode. And it is flying. It does have a bit of a little transition there. We gave it more power. But if we keep it on more power, eventually it's going to overspeed. So you got to watch it. Watch your speed. But I'm definitely learning a lot more about how this plane performs. Yeah, we're already kind of speeding up there. Because again, most planes kind of, as they gain speed, there's more air under the wings. The wings are providing lift. You get more lift. And this one, the wings don't provide that much lift. I mean, they do provide some lift, but a lot of it is coming from those fans. So it's the speed of the fans and not how quickly you are going forward. And eventually you kind of learn it, but it's different than other planes. And of course, the two wings, the canard-style wings, is what I mentioned before. You can't stall a plane like this. The reason you can't stall a plane like this is normally to stall a plane, you have to be going kind of straight, kind of up. Well, I would say so. I would say it's a flying car. I mean, you can't really, it's not a flying car in that you can't drive it on the road. So, I mean, it's not one where you can detach the wings and drive it on the road. but you can fly it as a plane. You can take off from airstrips. You can land on airstrips, but you can also take off and land like a helicopter. And I think that's what it's intended for. But unlike a helicopter, which has that that single rotor on the top, and it's tricky to fly it, requires a lot of skill. I think this is effectively designed to be safer and something that somebody who's not as nearly as skilled as a helicopter pilot can fly. The flying cars, when they fold back, yeah. Sometimes they fold back or fold up, but yeah, I've seen some flying cars. I mean, a flying car is not practical because it won't be a very good car or a very good plane. You know what I mean? You can make them. You can make a plane that will fly. You can make just about anything that will fly. Will it be a good plane? Will it be useful, as a purpose? Will it be reliable? Will it get a certain amount of, cargo and people from point A to point B? That's really how you judge whether it's a good plane or not. But the idea of something that drives on the highway and then you go to an airport and then you attach the wings or unfold the wings and fly off somewhere else. That's that's even too Jetsonese, I think. It's just not really, I don't think that's reasonable, but this is pretty cool. And again, the issue is that because the computer is doing most of the flying, somebody just beeped at me. Oh, it's just, that's an altitude alarm. Perfect. That you set the altitude in autopilot, and then you will get an alarm when you hit that altitude, which is 1,400 feet. Interesting. I'm still learning about some of the electronic systems here. Pretty cool. Could you buy it online? That's a question. I mean, there is a website, but it doesn't have an order page. I'm pretty sure you can't order it online. Again, you can look up Ascendance ATEA. ATEA is how they like it pronounced, apparently. I'm just interested. This place says Arenagh Airport. And I bet it's just a little tiny bird, but I want to check it out. So we're flying around Western Ireland. We're going to check it out. Yeah, well, as I mentioned, they actually, I believe they introduced this as an operating plane in the 2025 Paris Air Show, and they're like, oh yeah, in 2026 we're going to ship these, but that usually means it's 2027 or so. But it is a real. They have built something that looks like this and does fly like this. And again, the idea is because the reliability is good. It actually has 4 engines, 4 of these relatively small turbine generator engines. So you could also lose one of your engines, and that's not going to be a problem either, because they're just providing electricity, and that's all they do. I don't even think they provide like hydraulic. Oh yeah, well the FAA is very strict if it's a commercial plane. If if you want to charge money to take people from point A to point B, the FAA is that if it's purely for sport purposes. The FAA basically has you sign something saying you understand what you're doing is extremely dangerous because you're flying an experimental airplane. And then they don't care as much. They just don't want you to be charging people, anything to go from to go from point A to point B. Then the FAA gets very interested because it has to be reasonably safe for it to be a commercial endeavor. And this is obviously a commercial endeavor. So yeah, it takes years of flight time, effectively, before the FAA considers a new design to be safe enough to be used by the public. And so it would be many years before you saw, even if, if this were exactly operating like it is today, it'd be years before you saw this at a local airport or something, or a small airport. Boy, yeah, this is airport down there. It's literally a grass field and one little building. That's not what I call, I don't know, airfield? Maybe. We're traveling northeast now. I think we're kind of going in circles, which is fine. I think the cliffs of Moher are down that way. That's kind of the way we came, right? From the west. All right, well, it's time to land and just do more stuff. But I really, really, really enjoy the flights in these things. And again, we can basically land anywhere, and I feel like let's land a little closer to the water. I bet there'll be some interesting buildings over here. Just because, I want to move on with my things I want to do on the stream today. As usual, I'll be playing some big brain games just to make sure the wetware is functioning up there. I'll play the Quirtle, play the Revealed game. I'm going to do the 9 question trivia quiz. And then later, I'm going to whip my piano out. It's actually in my garage, so I can whip it out. Power here. But yeah, just the kind of the undulations of these hills is just very enjoyable. There'll be a short break, and then I'm gonna bring up piano. Yeah, my piano. It'll suddenly magically become Ken's Piano Lounge for the millionth, the umpteenth time, as I like to say. There's something down over here. It's like a little village up here or something. Try to find it. I see a road. You can see more of that bug. We were discovering that bug the other day, which is kind of, it looks like things are on fire on the horizon, which is the sun kind of wanting to pop out from under the cloud line. Yeah, there's a little village kind of there. There's a little tiny village. So there must be a bigger town somewhere, but I don't know where. All right, let's land over here. All right, so we're going to come down. We're going to start reducing power. But when I want to reduce speed quickly, I simply go into hover mode. And now you're going to see it. Hover mode there. Now we can fly it. I know. Well, this is definitely. Well, I'm not sure if it's a lake or this is kind of effectively a estuary of the North Atlantic. It's probably pretty cold. I'm hoping this is kind of flat over here. We can land on a pinpoint. Like I can land between these houses. No problem. So like on this little area, spot of land right in front of their front yard. I mean, this would be kicking up a lot of dust, but hey, it can be done. Again, we can't do it from here because you can't see down. So I can't see precisely where I'm going to land from this position. But from here I can. And basically I can use the stick to move any direction, left, right, forward, backwards, with precision. So, even a helicopter can't do this. You wouldn't want to land a helicopter because the rotor blades could hit the trees. Well, there's no exposed rotor blades in this plane. I mean, you don't want to hit trees. And then you can land I can land like right up next to this house here. Whoops. Don't want to say that. That's all you need to land. Like that's as much area. And here we are sitting on the ground there. The only other thing I have about the plane is that it does not let you open the doors. Obviously, it has doors that open. So this is kind of the outside view. You can kind of see the scale of it next to something like a house. It's not tiny, but it's not huge. It's kind of a mid-size. It's about as big as a single-engine plane, I think. Maybe a little bigger. But it's not. It's also pretty small for its capabilities. Here. Where's the other side? There it is. Take a little screenshot here. It always takes dramatic screenshots. There we go. Get some nice cloud action back there. Beautiful. Screenshots, just a little postcard I send to myself. Kind of loud. Okay, so hold on a second here. All right. Actually, the shutdown procedure is pretty simple. Fuel off. Cross speed off. Engine generators off. Master battery off. And what I found is that the power doesn't go off until the engines fully spin down. You can kind of hear them spinning down because they're operating the generators. There we go. I know. I know, because I probably blew away all his trash too, I probably, all his dogs and cats ran off and aren't coming back, after that. It's kind of loud from the outside. They're just spinning down, though. You see all the little fans and propellers spinning down, which is, in my opinion, pretty awesome. The little fans that push you forward, the one on the top and the front, almost look like toys. or there's propellers, and then there's these ducted fans. Technically, those are called ducted fans. There's 8 of them in the wings. It's a great. I mean, the fact that somebody designed it. So the other features you can see at the top and the back, I believe those are air inlets for the turbines, and the exhaust system I think are are those little things on the back. So that's where the exhaust would be coming out of. But it's they talk about these planes. Oh, it's hybrid. Well, it's clean. I don't know how clean it is. It burns fuel. It's just really cool. Should I take one more screenshot, like from here, with all the fans off? Yeah, I think I should. There we go. Just in case. Just in case. Well, I had a good time flying. Tomorrow is another stream day, based depending on the work situation. It's a work day, but usually I'm able to get home and do a little broadcast from here. But that's tomorrow. We're still doing today. So let me come right here real quick. I'm going to come out of the flight simulator category. I'm doing the big brain games today because I pretty much do that as a segment these times. So let me get out of flight simulator. That was, I don't know, for me, that was just that was a typically enjoyably, I don't know how you call it. Am I ready for TwitchCon? Well, I better, we got a couple months. Are you? I got a couple months. As far as, I have a place to stay. My car has been, should make it no problem. So I don't think I need too much to do, except pack the car and get my ass down there. But so I'm looking forward to it. But I guess the answer is yes, I'm ready. Let me get this brain games set up here. There we go. Full screen that. All right, the first big brain game is called the Quirtle. It's a lot like the regular New York Times Wordle, except we solve 4 5-letter words at the same time using the same clues. I like to call the 3 starting words. It is what it is. You figure that one out. Anyway, but let's see. Upper left. I think I know the upper left word. This one here could be lofty. I'm going to lower left. I'm going to go for lofty on the lower left. Oops, not that. Lofty. FTY. Okay, and then we have on the lower right, it has to be burst, because we have all the letters and kind of have enough information about how they're positioned. This one here starts with an L and then has an E. It's L-E something R-Y, but not, the R is not there. So it's, or it could be, no, right. It's L-E something R-Y, right. So what is it? Leary, just L-E-E-R-Y. Okay, oops. E-R, has to be Leary. That's fine. And then I believe this one is going to be, oh yeah, it is motif, M-O-T-I-F. All right, now we're finished with that one. The next game we're going to play, oh yeah, good to see you, Graham. I hope I'll see you there too. Thanks for coming by. Nah, no skibbity today, by the way. Thanks for coming by as well, Catfuck TV. It's August. It's August 3rd. It's going to happen anytime, I think in a couple weeks, but we'll get 79 part 2 pretty soon. And then we'll have a big 79 part 2. And when we get 79 part 2, I'm even going to put it in the title. It's going to say, today we're watching Skibbity Toilet 79 part 2. Okay. And if we kind of get an advanced word, I might do some Skibbity before that. But up until then, I don't know. All right, let's do the revealed. It's a pretty fun game. It's pretty recent too. It's only been around for like 3.5 months. It's a daily game. There's something new every time. We got animals and nature. The answer is going to be 2 5-letter words. And to figure out what these 2 5-letter words are, we get this heavily redacted document that we have to read through, and that we can reveal some of these things. But before we do that, I want to read the document using the blank, so sometimes we can get some interesting clues from that. So a blank. This is probably going to be the Latin referral. Is any of about blank blank a blank blank distinguished by an blank marking on the blank and known for the blank of the blank. Blank are blank throughout much of the blank and are so blank for the blank of blank, the blank after blank. I'm going to read that again. And are throughout much of blank and are so blank for the blank of the blank that the blank of blank the blank after blank. But that's a hard sentence to read. Like most blank, comma, the thing preys on, so it's a predator, blank. After its initial blank, the blank makes small blank in the blank body and secretes blank. It then blanks the contents as a blank. Oh my goodness, this is kind of interesting. You think we can figure this one out? I don't know. I mean, eventually. But what should we look at first? I want to see, though, if it's something like a whale shark or something that, because you can guess as much as you want. Now, okay, it's not a whale or a shark. It could be something whale, right? I don't think it's a whale, though. All right. It'll tell us if we get one of it right. No, it's not. Okay, it's fine. But we haven't done anything yet. But marking on the blank and known for blank of the blank. They're much of blank and are so preys. I want to see what it preys on. Insects. What preys on insects? Like flying creatures. The spider? Spider wouldn't fit. I want to check this one here. Venomous bite. But it's not necessarily a spider, but it could be a snake. What's this letter here? It's not a snake. This sounds like a snake. It sounds like a spider. How spiders feed. Is it a black widow? No. It was a black widow. It's funny. I never think I'm going to solve these. And after a while, it comes to you. So we needed two reveals and one clue, which is the letter there. One hint. Other players needed 6 reveals and 2 hints. Ew, Black Widows. Ew, you don't like them. 80% solved it eventually. That's pretty good. So most people, it wasn't that hard. All right. Next game is the massively popular Tightrope Trivia game. It's a 9-question timed multiple choice trivia quiz. I consider myself a trivia master, but the Sunday trivia quiz has been known to kick my butt. So he says easier and then harder. So we're on the hardest of the week. It resets every 7 days, so Monday will be the easy one. Let's just dive in and see how we do. That's a process. A lot of these are process of elimination style guesses. Okay, we know that the bird was associated with Twitter, and it's now X, so they don't need the bird anymore. Home insurance, I think, was Chicago. Massive fire, lots of clues in there. Again, process of elimination. He's the only one that I know for sure is Scottish. Alan Cumming. Caught my national preserve and called what? I'm gonna go with Fat Bear Week, since preparing for winter implies hibernation. Pieces of 8 and gold doubloons. I think it was Spain. Dude, gosh, these are hard. I'm just having to guess and use my gut. Did not know that one, that's for sure. But at least we'll cross it today. The blank maid of honor trembles as you try to give the courage to give us to the diffident, I guess. That was a tough one, too. Oof. At least I got it. I needed my time. Name for title, co-written by what author? I think that was, yeah, Mark Twain. Okay, my God. We got all of the Sunday trivia quiz. I haven't done that in a while. Whew. I think I got lucky. But hey, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. All 9 questions. What's our question? What's our score here? Over 2,200 is I say, we're a little too slow to get my 2,200. But hey, that's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that result. Anytime we ace the tightrope on a Sunday, heck yes. All right, we got 2 Arcturals to do. And then we're going to take the break, and when he comes back here, we will magically have transformed this little area here into Ken's Piano Lounge. Yeah, it's not really magic, though. I wish I could just wave a wand and, you know, all my stuff would gear, but I have to carry my piano, plug it in, all that shit. All right, what do we got here? U-I-T-E. So probably quite on the upper right. Right, quite. It's going to be quite. All right, what do we got here? Now let's get the harder ones here. This is the warm-up Octurl. The hard one is going to be coming up too soon. Something I-B-T-Y or B-I something T-Y. It could be bitty. B-I-T-T-Y, right? That's a word. Then we have another Q word, but it's S-Q-U-A-T, squat. And let's see, what do we got here? Or something that's going to be easier here. This one here is utile, right? And then we got maybe chunk on the left there. All right, 2 words left before we do the harder one, the rescue. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, the O-R-R, O-R and E, O and A as well. There's A-O-N-R as well. Okay, what it could be. It's not rodeo. It could be adore, E-D-O-R-E. That fits. All right, I'm just good at these games because I do it all the time. You play them every day, and these kind of words always become. Let's see, this one here. Could it be regal? R-E-G-A-L. I mean, it could be regal, and it was. All right, let's do the hard one. The hard one's a rescue, and it's hard because specifically, I don't get to use my powerful 3 starting words. It chooses 4 random words for you. That's just the nature of this particular game. Let's see. This one here on the left, I like pecan for it. Oops, pecan. which is good because that C was really helpful. There's always a few of these words that are kind of easy to get based on those 4 words. In fact, this is interesting. We have a K, T, R, and A, and a C. So all of the letters. And so what could it be? Track, Track, right? That's the only thing in B, so we'll grab that. Here, I think it's going to be steel, upper right. I mean, what else could that really be? ST, could it be anything else? No, steel it is. Let's see, we have, okay, so those 4 starting words didn't cover U as a vowel, and there's no vowels in this upper left one, so it's going to be U. And that gives us, so we effectively, we know there's an L, K, and a U. It's not, let's see, but what could it be then? Let me try something, man. L, U, C, then there's a K. Could it be lucky? Ooh, it could be lucky. That's a good one too, because that Y is often a common one. But we definitely needed the U. The U appears other places too. So now we have a B, E, T, and a U place. And the U is there. So it could be debut. No, it can't be debut. It's something UB. UB. It can't be U. The B's not there. Can't start with T. If it doesn't start with B, then it's UTEB. I don't think that's. No, it can't be. The E can't be there or there. I think it's Butte. B-U-T-T-E. Because that fits. All right, moving along, trying to just finish our last game here before we get into the lounge piano. I'll probably be playing for like an hour, so we got plenty of streaming to do. Come on by and say hi if you want. Excuse me. All right, let's see. We got a couple here that I think we have good chances of figuring out here. Starts with an S. Know where the A is, but there's an R to place. Oh, and we know where the R is too because of process of elimination. So it's something blank, A, R blank. And it could be swarm, S-W-A-R-M. Let's see. Let's try swarm. If it could be, then it might be, and it is. We don't waste more time than we need to. The W is not handy, of course. Let's see. What are our other? So we're down to 2 words, and we have 3 guesses. We're doing well in today's rescue. So we got to get this one. It has an A to place. And it could be media. I think it's going to be media. M-E-D-I-A. Pretty sure about that one. Oh, nice. And now we have 2 guesses just to get this last one. So we should not have a problem. Let's see. We know where the R is. There's an S, C, and O. I believe it starts with a C. So it's going to be C-R-O. And then, I mean, we could be cross. So, all right. So we finished today's rescue. I'm always happy when I complete the rescue. I only get about half of those. I would say half of those. Maybe I win 60% these days. But that's the hardest one because you have to kind of fight back from potentially, well, it's random. I mean, sometimes it could be hard. Sometimes it could be easy. But as usual, I had a good time playing the big brain games. It was fun. But now it is time for me to get on with my musical portion of the stream. I'm just switching over to music here. I'm looking forward to pretty much playing my regular lounge piano set. I want to keep my fingers limber and capable of doing things. I don't need to play every song in the world, but I want to be able to play a certain number of songs memorized. So, all right, let me get out of here. I'll play the mid roll, and we'll see you on the other side of that. All right, I'm in the music category, right? Perfect. Give me a minute to set up here. Okay. Switch over here. Good. Now I can hear myself. Oop. Didn't even turn my piano on. All right, get this set here. That goes about right here. I like that, like that. This might need to come closer. Yes. There we go. Perfecto. Welcome to Ken's Piano Lounge. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday afternoon. Sunday, yeah, afternoon, could be evening. What we do here is we sit and we play some piano for you. Not we, me and my pocket square. I mean, I do it. And this glass of Diet Coke, which is rapidly approaching its end of life, as it were. It will live again as my urine stream someday. I needed that. So what is Ken's Piano Lounge, you might ask? I say at the same time. I mean, well, it's actually this piece of paper here. It's a list of songs that I can hopefully kind of play. It's just sit and play, you know? I don't have any near notes or anything in front of me. Just in the head. So, for example, Say a Little Prayer, Natalie Cole version. Oh, back rack song. Okay, let's go. My piano's in the wrong position. Here we go. So welcome to Ken's Piano Lounge. Little things on here. Get a little activity going there. All right, next song's gonna be Flashdance, I guess. In the regular order. tune. That's my own little arrangement of that. It's a vocal song. Great song though. Okay, it's a little girl from Ipanema for you. Could do some of my Todd Rundgren songs I like to do as Lionel Jack songs. Todd Rundgren. Yeah, it's cliche. This is too far gone. Okay, we're going to move on from the Todd Rundgren to this one. Okay, the next one I'd like to do is this instrumental version of Drops of Jupiter by Train. Just a really nice little song. It goes like this. Drops of Jupiter by Train. It's one of my favorite songs. We'll do a little more kind of classic lounge act songs here. For example, Misty goes like this. Now is about the time I like to stop my little piano playback and talk directly to the audience. If you're appreciating my show here, the Ken Schneider 9 Piano Lounge, all I ask is that you do one little thing, and that's that you sidle up to the bar, that you order a fancy cocktail of some kind, not like a well drink, like a daiquiri or something mixed. Not for me, not for me. I already got a Diet Coke for you, okay? But most importantly, please tip the wait staff generously. I think they have on average 7 kids now. It's a lot of mouths to feed. Paul Williams for you there. Next song is a show tune. This particular show tune is from Blazing. It's the theme from Blazing Saddles. It goes like this. Okay, this one I haven't done in a while. It's Up Where We Belong, but from an Officer and Gentleman. Sure hope you're enjoying Ken's Panel Lounge. I'm gonna play a few more songs for you, see how it goes. This is called Walking My Baby Back Home. Hmm. Diet Coke. Still got some left. Put some reverb on. You know what that means. All around me are familiar faces, worn down places, worn down faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I want to drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Made to feel the way that every child should. Sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Looked right through me, looked right through me. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Mad world. Enlarging your world. All right, that's it for today. All right, we hit basically the 2 hour and what some minutes. That's some, I could go a little bit longer, but I always like to save it for the next stream because there's gonna be lots more streams coming up, like tomorrow, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day, unless it starts with a T. That's not a streaming day. But if it doesn't, 11:30 a.m. roughly this time. I'm gonna take this off. It's starting to get hot. Don't need that reverb either. Roughly every time, same time. I had a great time. Mistress Moore came in today. Graham Science. Lots of people came by to say hi, and always appreciate that. Thanks for coming by. People were lurking. That's good for them too. Tomorrow's stream will be a lot like today's stream. They'll be flying around, probably in a different airplane. Who knows? There'll be the big brain games, unless Skibbity Toilet 79 2 Part 2 comes out. No Skibbity Toilet, probably. Then the second half of the stream will see me picking up one of my guitars, maybe this one, maybe a different one, and playing a guitar for about 45 minutes for my own personal edification in public. Where's my thing here? It's important. And but till then, I'm going to say goodbye. It doesn't look like anyone I know from the musical category is streaming, or I might consider actually rating them. But I'm just going to run my outro and say goodbye again. See you guys tomorrow if you can stop by. I'd really appreciate it. And have a great rest of your Sunday.